Okay, so just we can click on search button, PG admin. Okay, version 8 we install. So we are pending with very few topics we can say. Okay, so the performance tuning and next part is like the important topic is a migration and next one is like upgradation. I don't know. Anything else pending?
Yeah, do you have the patching schedule for the Postgres?
Yes, yes. The patching in the sense like, see, the patch here is nothing but like the minor version upgrade. We will show you how we need to do the minor version upgrade. Okay, so the major version upgrade, like during the upgrade activity, we will show the same. Okay, in Cloud SQL. Okay, in on-prem systems, maybe you can feel something like the patching is nothing but the minor version release. It is going to release by cloud vendors. Okay, so then what we can do, we can just apply the same thing. Okay, with some few clicks. Okay, we are going to apply the same thing. It is including some minimal downtime for minor version patching. Okay, but in on-prem systems, okay, how we need to apply the minor version. Okay, so that we will show you. Okay, during the upgrade Postgres upgrade demo.
Okay, so the Cloud SQL build, so that is the vanilla flavor.
I mean, like not vanilla flavor. We can say the cloud vendors, like we have the AWS, we have the like GCP, and we have the Azure, right? On top of that, they took the source code from vanilla of the Postgres SQL, vanilla flavor of the Postgres SQL community, and they added some functionalities and they released. Okay, they released database as a service from all cloud vendors. Okay, and even OC also having. Okay, there like every 3 months, like similarly like Oracle. Okay, so every 3 months, even almost all cloud vendor is providing the some minor version of the patches of the Postgres SQL. Okay, so those patches, so we can like apply in the like it is having like very minimal downtime. Okay, so we can apply the same thing. Okay, but that is a very simple activity we can say. Okay, the major version upgrade is the like the main activity. Okay, that we will show you, and during the like same activity we will show you like how we need to upgrade the like minor versions. Okay,
Okay.
I think there is some issue with my PG admin version 8.
Have you saved the last recording?
Yes, yes, yes. This is Abhishek at Darpan.
Yes, Abhishek.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is the like UI we can say. This is the UI tool for like PG admin. Okay, so this tool is something like this, and we are going to protect. Okay, as we said. Okay, we are going to protect the password. Okay, the password for the same, the master password for to protect entire the PG admin related connection. Okay, so here you can see like the master password. You can set anything, and if you want, you can even reset the same. Okay, just I am entering the master password. Okay, let me try. Okay, this is I think maybe incorrect. Let me reset the same. Okay, so these are the connections we can say how we need to connect. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, how we need to connect. First we can remove this thing. Okay, so we can go to the dashboard section. Okay, so this is the first the window of the PG admin, we can say. Okay, in the PG admin we have these many options. Okay, so here our first thing is we need to, if you want to make a connection to your database system. Okay, so here we need to add like a new server. Okay, so if you click on here, add new server. Okay, so this is the window. This is the window. It is containing the like all the options which for which instance you are going to connect. Okay, so just I'm like giving the name. Okay, so demo. Okay, and this is the server group. Okay, this server group is nothing but, okay, so if you have a in your environment development and certification and development and production systems. Okay, if you want to keep all your like development systems under like particular name or maybe particular server, okay, in the server group. Okay, so you can create one server group. Okay, you can create one server group, and then you can make it. Okay, you can make it all your development systems under a particular server group. Okay, so and also you can create like certifications, or you can create like UAT related database connections. Okay, and this server group is just to like segregate, okay, your connections with a particular name. Okay, just I'm using the like Skyoops. Okay, and then the main important is this one. Okay, the connection. Okay, the connection here I install my PostgreSQL is locally. Okay, so then I'm using the like a local host is my host name, and in case of like if you're using the like your Oracle VM, okay, there like you have the IP address, right? That IP address name you need to mention here. Okay, then the port number. So like here I'm using the default port number 5432. Okay, and then the maintenance database, either it may be like the default database I'm picking, Postgres is my default database. Okay, if you want, like you can pick any database like as per your requirement. Okay, then the username is Postgres. Okay, and then I'm entering my password. Okay, and then next thing is the parameters. Okay, this is like very important, maybe the section we can say if you're like playing with the cloud SQL related connections. Okay, so in cloud SQL, so almost every cloud vendor is providing, okay, the Postgres SQL, or maybe the database as a service with the SSL configuration. Okay, it means the SSL mode is like enabled for almost all your like the Cloud SQL, PostgreSQL systems. Okay, Cloud SQL means I'm telling it is from the Google. Okay, so RDS. Okay, RDS systems from the Amazon. Okay, or Aurora PostgreSQL, or maybe Azure PostgreSQL or OCA PostgreSQL. Okay, so to provide the like different levels of the security, the SSL mode is one of the thing. Okay, so it means if you enable like SSL mode during like configuring your PostgreSQL instance on top of the cloud. Okay, so there is an option to enable the SSL mode. Once you enable the SSL mode, okay, so while making a connection with like the PG admin, okay, so then you need to download those SSL certificates. Okay, so we have the like three types of certificates we have. Okay, so those certificates are something like we can select. Okay, so the client certificate is the one. Okay, and next one is okay, client key. I'll explain. And next one is the root one. Okay, a root certificate. Okay, so if you enable SSL mode, okay, if you enable the SSL mode, so then we have like these three types of certificates we have. Okay, the first one is the client certificate. Okay, and second one is the client key. Okay, and third one is the like server certificate or root certificate. Okay, so you need to like SSL mode, you need to change SSL mode if you have like SSL mode is enabled. So you need to change for the required. Okay, and then so you need to download all your certificates and place it into any location. Okay, any of your location. Okay, and then like what you can do, like we can just pick that location of your certificate. Okay, this is a client certificate. You can pick the like the location of your client certificate. Okay, so then the similarly you can pick a client related key. Okay, and also you can pick root certificates. Okay, so this one is like only we need to select all this information when you have these certificates are enabled on your like Cloud SQL instance. Okay, so this is the way we can do it. So in real time systems, these are the things are much needed. Sorry, yes. I need to drop these things. Okay, now we are not having any SSL certificates. Okay, so this is fine. Okay, the SSH tunnel. Okay, if we are like using any tunneling kind of mechanism. Okay, then that information. Okay, the tunnel host and the port number. Okay, and username and those things you need to provide here. If this tunneling concept you may use if you have any authentication type. Okay, the cloud authentication type you are using in stuff like SSL. So though or maybe in on-prem systems. Okay, so if you are using any tunneling concept, so then those information you need to provide here. Okay, and advanced is there any password execution commands? Okay, so these things we never use. Okay, so these are the like three parameters, connections and general information. Okay, these are the three important options we have, and we need to play around with these options. Okay, then just we need to do the save. File server does not support SSL, but SSL are required. Okay, so here we need to change prefer. Okay, save. Okay, if SSL is enabled, then we need to change the option from prefer to require. And the require, once you choose the option is required, then what you need to do, you need to provide all your like three certificates location. Okay, then it is able to like configure. Okay, so this is the the connection, demo connection. Okay, so we have option something like this. We want to minimize this. Okay. How we can do that? Yeah, like this we can make it. Okay, so this is the this is the the dashboard we can say. Okay, in the dashboard you can see it is almost kind of the statistics of your the demo connection. Okay, so how many sessions we have. Okay, so the transaction ratio. Okay, so everything. Okay, everything it is providing here. Okay, the session related information, how many sessions we have. Okay, so is there any logs are available on the particular instance. Okay, so everything. Okay, everything will be shown here in this the dashboard section. Okay, so then just we can expand here. It is similarly like SQL developer. Okay, if you expand here. Okay, we have the databases. Okay, so these are the databases are we have in particular instance. Okay, so then just we can, if you want to create a new database, okay, just we can right click on here. Okay, then create. Okay, the create database. Database name DemoDB. We can create. Okay, so then the owner. Okay, by default the Postgres is the owner we can say, and the definition. Okay, so the which the encoding algorithm you're using. Okay, and the security. Okay, so it means if you want to specify any security options to the grants. Okay, and those information we can provide, and the parameters. Okay, if you want to add the specific parameters to your database, so okay, those parameters you can add from here. Okay, and advanced, like maybe if you want to restrict, okay, some set of schemas access to the particular database, those information we can mention here, okay. And then this is the SQL, okay. So the SQL is nothing but the create database, okay. So how we are going to create a database with the PSQL prompt, okay. This is the syntax, okay. So the create database and the database name, okay, and vulnerate the Postgres SQL, and what are the options we are selecting here? The same SQL statement is like generating with the SQL option here, okay. So just simply we can like save. Okay, so the demo DB, okay, it is created. Okay, so then if you want to, there is only public schema, okay. Okay, so there may be like some, we can say, if you want to create the new table here, create table. T1 is my table, okay. So how many columns we have, okay. So otherwise what we can do, so this one is fine, right? Okay, I will show you different options, okay. Okay, so this is the way we can create the database. And if you right click on the table, you can create the tables, and if you right click on the schemas, you can create the schemas as well, okay. So I like, the main important thing is we need to play with the two things here, okay. So the two things are like this is the PSQL tool, okay, and second thing is the query tool, okay. The PSQL tool is like nothing but it is the similarly so the PSQL prompt which we are having, right, the similar way we can get the tool the prompt, okay, the PSQL prompt. Okay, you can see here, it is going to load. Okay, it is similarly our PSQL, the PSQL prompt. Okay, you can use the same commands. Okay, what are the commands you're using, like the PSQL, the same commands we can see here. Okay, so DN, the schemas, okay, the DU, okay, the users, okay. This is similarly like the tool which we are using like to make a connection or for our daily activities we are using, right, in on-prem systems, okay. The same the prompt we are having here, okay. And next thing is the query tool, okay. This is the tool which we are going to use to play around with the SQL statements, okay. So if you click on the query tool, okay. Okay, if you see here, so I'm connecting the demo DB. Okay, I'm connecting the demo DB with the user, the Postgres is the user. Okay, and the connection name. Okay, this is my connection name. Okay, if you have like different connections you have. Okay, so then just you can like switch the connections and play with the connections and play with your the SQL statements. Okay, what are the statements you want? Okay. So here just say like you can type what are the things you want. Okay, select star from okay, PG underscore class. Okay, so okay, here we have the options. Okay, so like this is the one we can execute. Okay, this is the execute statement. Okay, and like this you can like based on your requirement, just you can play with your SQL statements. Okay, and the next important thing you need to aware is like if you want like the database, okay, that if you want to like take a DDL of your a database, okay, so then just you can click on the particular database and just you can click on SQL. Okay, so it will provide what is the DDL of your particular database. Okay, and the DDL, okay, it is providing, okay, it is providing, okay, so the create statement and also it is providing even like the like drop statement as well. Okay, you can see here, this is a like create statement of my database. Okay, and this is like my drop statement of database. And similarly, if you see like the schemas, okay, if you see like the schemas, okay, and maybe let me click on the public. Okay, so if you see here, the SQL. Okay, so this is very useful whenever if you are maybe migrating. Okay, you are migrating your Postgres SQL to different instance. Okay, in this in the particular cases. Okay, so just you need to take. Okay, you need to take the DDL of all this information. Okay, and just you can execute the same and just you can migrate the data into your destination systems. Okay, and what else? What else we have? Okay, so maybe we can take some kind of backup. Okay, just you can right click. Okay, so then similarly, okay, if take the backup, just right click and backup. So the file name. Okay, so you can choose the destination file. Okay, so this backup is nothing but maybe demo bkp tst. Okay, okay, so here the format. Okay, so here the backup is nothing but it is going to internally take the the pg dump by using the pg dump utility. It is going to take the backup. Okay, so here we have the different types of backups formats. Okay, the similarly the pg dump, whatever the formats we are using, we are going to take the plain format, we are going to take the custom format, we are going to take the directory format. Okay, the same kind of format we can take it. Okay, and if you want to provide the compression ratio. Okay, so how much compression level you are going to use. Okay, so that option we can choose it, and we have some different options as well. The data option. Okay, so the if you want to include, okay, the blob data types, or if you don't want to include those things. Okay, so you want only DDL, then only schema. Okay, then you want only data. Okay, so instead of playing with the commands. Okay, here we have a UI options. Okay, so based on your requirements, okay, you can take it. In the query options, you can use some conditions. Okay, so based on your requirement. Okay, we can use the conditions. Okay, and the table options. Okay, so the table options how we need to take the tables. Maybe if you want to exclude some set of the tables, or maybe exclude some set of the table content. Okay, so those information we can provide here. Okay, so these are some kind of options we can use with help of the PG admin. Okay, just we can take the backup. So if it is going to load into your provided directory. Okay, but the problem is if you are playing with the PG admin. Okay, the where your PG admin is located. Okay, in the local system, maybe if you are dealing with a huge amount of databases, so make sure your database. Okay, so your database backup where you are taking that particular location having some amount of storage to hold your backups. Okay, so then what else we have? So yeah, I think maybe once you started practicing all these things, right? Okay, you will aware of GUI related things. Okay, so yeah, I think maybe any doubts with the PG admin? Okay, before we jump into next topic.
It's almost similar like say SQL developer and Toad, right?
It is similar copy of SQL developer, Toad, or maybe if you are from MS SQL background, MS SCI. Okay, so it is similar GUI. Okay, so it is, but it is widely using the tool. Okay, in the market. Okay, so it is widely using in the market. This tool is okay. Why? Because the Postgres SQL in the real-time system, the Postgres SQL widely available on the the clouds. Okay, as a database as a service. So there is no infra access. So then this is the tool it is using widely to database administrator related activities. Okay, yeah. Okay, so then we can jump into the security concepts the demo.
So how we can generate or how we can view the performance related the degree performance of this tool from this tool like on a graphical mode or GI.
Abhi, your voice is low. You are performance related something?
Yeah. From this tool, PGAdmin, how we can see the performance analysis performances on the particular time window. So can we see that?
This tool, yeah, we are able to see it. Okay, so you can see from the dashboard. Okay, if you see from the dashboard, there uh, all the metrics. Okay, all the metrics are available. Okay, so there you can see during the which time. Okay, there is a issue. Okay, so here we have the graphs. Okay, I shown you, right? Let me share again. Okay, these are the we can say the dashboard. In the dashboard, system metrics. Okay, so to enable this, we need to create some extensions. Okay, so here we have the graphs, right? In the graphs, okay, we can get it. Okay, so in the issue time, okay, so there is an option to choose the graph for some historical information.
Or can you generate the report from this PGAdmin?
But the report generation, I don't
No,
think.
you mean to say it's like AWR kind of reports?
AWR kind of, yeah, AWR kind of report, we will show you, okay, how we need to generate AWR report, not from here. Okay, so for AWR report, we have like a PG profile kind of extensions. Okay, so during the tuning concept, okay, we are going to show you how we need to generate AWR kind of report, that is a snapshot report in the Postgres SQL, to get that report with the help of the PG underscore profile extension. Okay, that we will show you. But during the the report generation from here, or maybe the history of the issue time, or maybe issue time related statistics, there is a time column. I'm not seeing here. Okay, so we can go there and we can see what is the spikes in the your sessions, and what is the lock events. Okay, the every information is available here. Okay, the history, so I don't think so. Somewhere we have some history. Okay, we will let you know. Okay, where we have that button. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we can just continue where we left yesterday. Actually, in in module 11 in security, we have seen yesterday how we can enable logging, right? So now we can see how we can enable row level security. So we can see how we can enable row level security, and followed by how we can enable editing in Postgres. Okay. So for enabling row level security, for example, let me create a table called employee. Okay. So in that employee, I have like 3 columns. One is employee number, employee name, address, salary, and account number. So maybe 4 columns. Okay. So let me try to insert some records into this table. So we have a concept called profile. Okay, so with the help of profile only, we can able to provide security. Okay, for example, if I give select star from employee, so I have 3 records basically. So basically, this particular table is in default public schema. Okay, right? If any user, okay, for example, I'm trying to create 3 users called John, Clark, and Soji. If I want to give grant to this particular user, okay, in order this user has to select this table. So we have to grant necessary permissions, right? So we can grant select on this particular user, right? So, okay, let me try to create user. So I have 3 users, okay? If I log in via this users, for example, this user, to this specific database. Okay, and if I do /dt, I could able to see this particular table, but I cannot able to select the data because the permission issue, because the owner of this table is public, but I log in as a John user. John doesn't have the permission to see this data. This is an expected behavior. So what we have to do, we have to connect to the specific schema owner and we have to grant permissions, right? So we have to grant permissions to this John user so that he can able to select. So what we can do, so let me connect to this database as a Postgres user. So grant select on employee to John, right? So if I give select permission, he can able to log in and he can able to select the data as well, right? This we already know, right? But my requirement is, since this is a critical table, I don't want to display, see John user can able to see the other user salary details and account details, right? So I want to enable row level security. If John connects and check the table, he has to see his data. Similarly, if Clark log into the database and if he checks, he has to see his data. Okay, this is called row level security, right? So with permissions, we can able to provide column level security, but not row level security. We cannot grant select on a specific record, right? We can only grant select statement, select permission to entire table, not like specific row. In order to achieve this kind of row level security in Postgres, we have something called policy. Okay, so we have to create a policy. In that policy, we have to add a condition that if a user login, okay, he has to check his own record. Okay, something like this condition we have to create in the database with the help of create policy utility. Okay, so create policy. Okay, if you see create policy name, on which table you are going to create the policy, and based on the condition, okay, which you have defined. Okay, so for this particular table, what condition you have defined, based on that, we can able to achieve this kind of row level security. So for example, current underscore user. So where it can allow only that particular record for this specific user. So let me create the policy so that it's easy for you to understand. So let me connect to DVD rental database as a Postgres owner. And let me create the policy. So my policy looks something like this. Okay. I can give any name of my policy and on which table you want to create the policy. So create policy name on employee table for all to public using. See, I have created a condition. This is my employee number, right? So wherever the user, current underscore user is nothing but, so usually you will get from sys underscore contest in Oracle. Similarly, you can get the current user with the help of this inbuilt function. So we can just create the policy based on this condition. Okay. After creating the policy, let me log into the John user and let me select the data. Okay. Still he could see the 3 records, right? After creating the policy, what we have to do, we have to enable the row level security basically. So let me connect to this database and just do alter table employee enable row level security. Okay, so once you create the policy, you have to enable the row level security with the help of enable row level security option. Okay, then you can just log in to the John user and you can just try to select the table. So he could see only his data, right? So this is how you can protect the data or rows from the other user based on the policy. So this is how we can create a policy and we can enable the row level security for that specific user, specific table. Okay, so that he could able to see his own records, not the other records. Similarly, we can also connect to other user called, we have Clark, right? So this one.
So for this user still we haven't granted the permission, right? So we have to grant the permission. So he can see his own record, not the other record. Similarly, you can grant the select permission for the other user, so that this is how you can protect the row level security. This is just an example based on your application requirement. Okay. So with the help of development team, we can create the policies with the condition and we can protect the row level security with the help of policy and enable row level security option. So this is one example, and we can see how we can enable. So the next concept is how we can provide the security with the help of PG crypto extension. Okay, so PG crypto is one of the extension. For example, select start from PG available extensions. So if you install any your modules, okay, contrib modules, you will get this all extensions by default. Okay, so as a part of your installation, if you create any contrib module, you will get all this extension, right? So in this, by default, in this extension, we have something called PG crypto, where you don't need to download any from external. See here we have PG crypto extension, right? By default, it will have in your contrib module. So you can directly create the extension. For example, if I want to create in this database, to create extension name. If you want to see what are the extensions which we have installed, you can just say /dx. This will show you what are the extensions installed in this database. Okay, don't worry about this extension. Probably in the next session, you will understand more about the extension. Extension is something just an external software. Okay. So now if you want to see, so when you create this extension, what happens? It will create some functions. Okay, some crypto functions like this. Okay, with the help of these crypto functions only, we can provide the encryption and decryption option, right? So yesterday we have seen PGP SIM encrypt, PGP SIM decrypt option, right? So with the help of these two functions, we can able to encrypt our data in the table level. Okay, for example, let me create a table called users. Okay, so I'm going to create a new table called users here. So select sort from users. So I don't have any data. I have 3 columns: ID, email ID, password. Now I want to protect the password. Okay. So this is similarly like TD, how you will encrypt the data at the column level, right? Similarly, we can use these functions and we can encrypt the data for this particular column. For example, I want to encrypt the password column. Whenever I'm inserting the data, okay. So whenever I'm inserting my data, what happens? I will just use, okay, this PG. So this PG is crypto function and I can encrypt my data basically. Okay, so just give me a minute. I will drop this table. Let me create the other table because I have a different table example as well. Okay. So for example, I'm going to create this user one. Okay, now this column, or maybe let's assume this is a password only. So we want to protect any of the column. Okay, now when I'm trying to insert the data, okay, I will use something called PGP SIM encrypt. This is the function which you will get as a part of your extension. Okay, so now what happened? Whenever you are inserting your data, you have to use this function. So when you select the data, now it will be in encrypted format. So this is the first column data macro. This is readable format. But if you see, this is my original data. Okay, so your original data is this. It is encrypted and it will be in encrypted format. If any application team or any users try to select, it will be in encrypted format. So if they want to retrieve the data, So they can use again the decrypt keyword. Okay, so keyword or function, whatever we may call. Okay, for example, I want to select something like this. I use again the decrypt function with the help of PG crypto, and I can able to select the data. This is my original data, how it comes when I use this function. But if you directly select, you will get the encrypted data. Okay, this is how you can provide the security with the help of PG crypto. You can enable the column level encryption, but only thing is every time application team has to use this decrypt function, right? So so if it is not possible from application end to always use this function while retrieving the data, so what we can do, we can just create a separate procedure. Okay, in that procedure, whatever the tables which you have already encrypted with the help of this encryption function, so we can automatically use this decrypt function. Whenever you fetch the data on this particular table, it has to call this function. Similarly, you can create a separate procedure, and application team doesn't need to use always this function, okay, while retrieving the data. So in similar way, if you want to update, okay, so the similar column, maybe this text to some other text, I can just use something like this. Update table set data equal to, this is my original data. So before your data, you have to just use this keyword. Okay. Similarly, if you try to select, you will get the updated data by using this decrypt keyword. So this is how you can provide the security with the help of PG crypto extension. Okay. So if you want to enable the column, similarly like TDE, you can use this PG crypto function, encryption and decryption function, and you can encrypt the data. So this is how you can provide with the help of PG crypto. This is something, if you really want to encrypt the data, if your table is falls under PCI, then similarly, if your table have any passwords, critical passwords or any ATM card details or something, transaction details, if you want to encrypt them, you can just use this extension. So which is useful for security. Okay. So similarly, you can select the data, and this is how you can provide the security. And now let's see how we can enable the editing as well. Okay, so editing is something that which we have seen. Similarly, for editing also we have something. So the extension called PG edit, right? So PG edit is not part of your contrib module. We have to externally download that PG edit. Okay, so if you want to see mlist module PG edit store. Since I'm using 15 version, right? So this is the package which I need to install for PG edit extension. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm just doing install. Yes. So along with the PG edit, we have one more extension called PG edit log to file. If you want to log all the edit data into a separate log file, you have to create this extension as well. So since my version is 15, I'm going to install this package as well. Okay, so I'm install PG edit log to file. So basically these two packages or extensions is not part of your contrib module. So contrib module is something that community will give some extensions for you. Okay, if you just install the contrib module, when you just do select star from PG available extensions, you could see some extensions, right? For example, PG crypto is one of the extension where they have provided. But PG edit is not the extension which is part of your contrib module. You have to externally download the package. or you have to externally download the source code from Git of the pgedit. Pgedit is an open source extension where we can download and we can use it for the Postgres database. Okay, so I have installed my pgedit packages and pgedit to log file, and the only thing is I have to add these two extensions in the shared preload libraries, right? So we have a parameter called, let me open the PostgreSQL on. Okay, so we have something called shared preload libraries, right? Okay, so before this, let me try to, for example, I'm going to connect to DVD rental, create extension, PG audit. So what it is telling, PG edit must be loaded via shared preload libraries. So shared preload libraries, which is something parameter file which you have to load, right? All the libraries of this extension. So for this, what I'm trying to do, this is my parameter file shared preload libraries. Here, I will add something like PG audit. Okay. And I also have one more extension which I have to create. One is PG audit log to file, right? So these are the two extensions which I have to create, and I'm going to assign these two for shared preload libraries. Okay. Let me restart the cluster. Let me connect to DVD rental, and now I can able to create these two extensions. So one more extension is I have to create PG edit log to file as well, right? So if I see /dx, I got my extensions PG edit log to file. Okay. So this extension provides editing functionality, and this extension provide the editing, whatever the function, whatever the data which you edit, it will create a separate log file, independent log file, and you can provide this log file to any of the ISO editing team for checking any editing, right? So that you can create a separate log file with this extension. If you not create this extension, whatever the data which you are trying to edit, it will be by default stored in your alert log. Okay, I don't want editing data and logging data in the same file, right? I want a separate file for edit. So that is the reason I have created a separate file, separate extension to create my separate file for edit. Okay, and if you see /dx plus as a part of your extensions, it will create some predefined triggers and functions. Okay, with the help of these triggers and functions only, it will do an editing. Okay, so let's see what editing we have. Okay, so let me open the PostgreSQL file, shared preload libraries. Okay, I also need to add few more parameters called pg audit dot log underscore directory. So what is the directory name? Okay, you or what is the directory name which you have to create for the edit? For example, you can give any name, pg audit log. This is the directory which it will create automatically, okay, for editing. And what is the log file name which you want for editing? So for this, you have one more parameter called pgedit.log file name. I want my name something like this. So you can give any name, edit, and which format you want. For example, y %m and %d dot log. So this is the format which I want, the edit log file. Okay. So we also have the main important parameter called pgedit.log. Since that is a dynamic parameter, I will add on the fly with alter system command. Okay. So since these both are static parameters, let me restart my cluster. Okay. So what it will do in the PG data directory, it has to create one separate directory called pg edit log, whatever we have given in the parameter file, right? The same thing. Let me fetch those parameters. pg edit. So these are the two parameters which I have added, right? So it has to create a separate directory in the pg data location. Inside this directory, it will create the file name, edit file name called something like this. Okay. So let's edit something and we will understand better. So what I will try to do is alter system set pg edit dot log. Okay. For example, first I want to edit all read operations. Okay. So I'm just doing something like this. Read operation. So editing can be so many things we can edit. Read operations you can edit, write operations you can edit, and you can also edit functions. You can also edit maintenance activities, everything. So for now, I'm just editing only read operations. If I try to read any table, it has to edit in an editing file here, right? So we'll see. Since this is a dynamic parameter, I have to just reload the configuration. So something like this. Select pg reload conf. Now I have something tables, right? So if I try to select any one of the table, let's see if any editing has been created. If you see, it has created a directory called pg edit underscore log. If you go inside this log, this directory, it will create the log file something like this, whatever the naming conventions which we have given, right? Same with the same naming conventions, it creates something log file like this. And if you just tile this log file, so this is the difference between logging and editing. So in the editing, you could see some extra information, something like this. You have the timestamp and you have from which user you have connected and which database you have connected. This is the session ID, whether you have connected from local machine or remote machine. And this is the SQL value, and or maybe we can say SQL ID kind of something with the hexadecimal value. And this is the SQL statement, whatever I have filed, okay, with the timings. And it is telling this is a read operation, select statement. So this is a select statement, right? So you have some kind of this extra kind of information when compared with logging. So editing has some extra information, something like this, okay? And as a part of your logging, it's not recommended to always, log everything in your alert log, like DML statements, right? So it's not recommended because your logger will keep on low and your logger process will become very slow and you will get a performance impact as well. Okay. So this is something like this. Now I want to log read, write operations, for example. Or so basically in logging, you have only option is you have to log at the cluster level, right? You don't have option to log at the user level. So here I also have something called user level editing as well. So for example, I want to edit only this user, John. What I can do, alter username, set pg edit.log to read, write. For example, I want to edit both read and write operation for this user. Okay. So now I can just reload the configuration. Now when you log into this user, when you do read and write operations, this read and write operations will be edited in the log file. Okay, you have flexibility to edit at a specific user level, and you also have flexibility to edit at the session level as well. Okay, if you want to edit at a specific session, okay, so you can log, or you want to edit specific database. Okay, for example, alter database name, set pgedit.log. You want to edit read, write, And for example, if any developers or any application is running some of the PL SQL or PG SQL functions or something, code, PL SQL code or PG SQL code, if you want to audit that as well, you can use the function. Okay. Read, comma, write, comma, function. Okay, what I will try to do. Let me try by setting up the database where it is working. Read, write function. Okay, sorry, I forget to mention the two keyword. Okay, so here we have to use two keyword. Okay, now if anyone log into this database and if anyone run some of the PL SQL code, okay, so even that can be logged. For example, let me reload the configuration. So for example, if I do something, my PL SQL block something like this, do begin some sample PL SQL block. So I have just executed a simple PL SQL block, PG SQL block. So in the begin section, raise notice is something similarly like your Oracle DBMS underscore. So you have printf kind of statement, right? DBMS underscore output dot put line. Similar kind of thing, we can use the raise notice. Okay. So if you do some kind of this PL SQL things, it will also log these things as well. You do editing 1000 something edit.log. Okay, even that kind of functions also it will log now. Yeah, let me, sorry. If you see, even this PL SQL code also it is trying to log, right, in the editing file. So if you want to edit that kind of PL SQL code as well, you can just use function, okay, after read and write. And we also have something alter system set pgedit.log. You have an option called all. If you give all, it will log everything. Okay, it will log read operation, it will log write operation, it will log function, it will also log DDL, DML, everything. Okay, so you can just mention all, and you want to minus something. Minus means you don't want any maintenance activities. Okay, maintenance activities like even you do vacuuming or reindexing, you don't want to log that. You can just use hyphen minus. Minus means you don't want this to be in the log, and you don't want DDL to be logged. You can just use something like this. Okay, which means it will log everything except maintenance activities and DDL statements. Okay, something like this also you can mention. Okay, so it will not, if you do any checkpoint or vacuuming, analyze, this all is called like maintenance activities. This will not log in your edit file. It will only log DML statements, and it will also log the functions, because whatever you don't want, you can just keep minus symbol and you can reduce from the editing. Okay, so something like this also you can do. Okay, so this is how you can enable the editing. So we will provide the lab manual. You can just try to practice. So you need two extensions. One is PG edit log to file, and whatever the log in the editing, whatever you mention, whether you need read operations, DDL, DML. So you can just edit those things. You have flexibility to edit at the database level, at the user level, at the session level, at the cluster level as well. Okay. Yeah. Any questions in the editing? Yeah, we provide lab manual. Okay, you just try to practice for logging, editing, and the security, whatever we discussed today. Okay. Yeah, so that's it I have for today. If you don't have any other questions, probably we can catch up in the next session for other topics. Okay, then thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.